Get ready to hear the truth about America on a show that's not immune to the facts with your host, Dan Bongino.
Folks, they always accuse you of what they're doing. Every single time, this theory never, ever fails with the left. It's amazing. You would think, once in a while we would have maybe a 99.9% success rate. That's 100%. Whenever you want to know what they're afraid of because they're doing it and afraid you're going to do it to them, they blame you for doing what they're doing. We call it the dipsy-do flipperoo. Got that. Obviously going to cover the 80th anniversary of D-Day today. Folks, listen, I have to be candid with you at the beginning of the show about this. I've got a really bad sinking feeling. And the 80th anniversary of what these patriots who shed blood, dead on the beach, lost limbs, lost eyes, lost their lives, lost their loved ones. I don't know. It gives me a sinking feeling today, the country we're in right now. It just seems like a different place. I got a lot to get to, including, again, that what happened yesterday with this laptop is not a small story. It proves to you what I've been saying all along. This deep state is real, and it's, again, why I've got this sinking feeling. Something's different now. It's not just one or two people conspiring. Let's get to the show. Beam's Dream Powders, a science-backed hot cocoa for sleep with no added sugar. Go to shopbeam.com/Bongino. Use code Bongino. That's shopbeam.com/Bongino. Use code Bongino for up to 45% off. Get a good night's sleep. As I said, we're going to go through this Hunter Biden story too, and I'm going to show you exactly what the deep state is. So there's no more mystery. It's not some amorphous cloud out there. You will know at the end of this. I'm going to show you the exact players. Folks, it's another day, another breaking news story buried. It's not because they don't know what's happening. It's that they want to hide it from you. Folks, there's an emergency right around the corner every single time. You trust the people in charge to tell you it's coming? I don't, because they're full of crap all the time. You got to look beyond the headlines. Prepare for what's coming. Use the company I use, My Patriot Supply. Since 2008, My Patriot Supply has helped millions of Americans get ready for the worst. This is the final week to save $200 off their best-selling 3-month emergency food kits, and they're flying off the shelves. Get yours right now at mypatriotsupply.com. This food kit offers over 2,000 calories a day. Calories are survival. They're ultra-durable kits with 4-layer packaging. Lasts up to 25 years in storage. Order all the kits you need for $200 off each. Free shipping during the final week of the offer is included. You've been warned about what could happen. Don't live in fear. Get prepared. Take control. It's not just food. It's freedom. Stock up on food kits at mypatriotsupply.com before time runs out to save. That's mypatriotsupply.com. All right, fellas, let's go. By the way, Kraken in the chat, he was like, guys, you're the crew, right? He was getting all upset. Kraken's like, oh, Dad, you were yelling at your staff. Was I yelling at the staff? Justin, did you feel abused yesterday? Thank you. There's a big family here. I hear an echo, man. I got to say something. What the hell you want me to do? Not tell them? Look at you. Justin, that's how much they're scared of me. Justin's not even paying attention. He's like, screw this guy. I'm serious. He's talking Star Wars. He's like, yeah, whatever, dude. Do your show. These guys, we love everybody. We love each other. Yeah, you see, we had a whole Star Wars thing going before. I can't with the Star Wars. These guys still insist that Return of the Jedi was a good movie. It was not. Now he says now he's quitting. He's across the line. Folks, listen, a lot going on today. First, before we even get to it, so it's the 80th anniversary of D-Day. President Biden, and it's even tough to call him that at this point, is overseas, and he's about to give a speech, or gave a speech about the heroics that day. Wasn't the worst speech he's ever given. Who knows with Biden, why he does what he does or how he winds up getting through these things. We have no idea. But again, embarrasses us on the world stage. He's told what to do, folks. He's given a card. Do this, and this, and he never figures it out. Why? Because he's clearly cognitively impaired. He fire that thing up. What is he doing here? Nobody seems to know. Watch. So he's talking to Macron, and he turns to fake Dr. Jill. And what he's like, what? Oh, that's what everybody seems to think. Like there's some kind of episode happening, Now, listen, to be fair, because I don't like to bullshit people, there is a chair behind him. If you actually watch the extended cut of this, there is a chair behind him. Here's the thing. It doesn't matter. there's no story here that's good for the left. Story number one, say he's having an episode. I think you know what I mean. All right, probably unlikely, but maybe, right? So say that's not. Story number two, he's sitting in an imaginary chair. Okay, that's not true. There is an actual chair. Story number three, there's an actual chair there, and he still doesn't know when to sit down or stand up. Folks, Guy, play that one more time. How hard is it to figure out when to sit down here? What's the cue, folks? What's the cue? Anybody know? What's the cue when to sit down? Watch what's happening. Nobody else is trying to sit down but him. Here's Dr. Jill. You see her? There, puts the hand over the mouth. Listen, if you've ever chastised your kids in public, you've done this trick. Puts the hand over the mouth. Hey, dude, don't sit down here. It's not time yet. Nobody else is sitting but this guy. This guy's got to embarrass us all the time. And then, by the way, he shuffled out of the place while Macron is there greeting our World War II heroes. He just can't stop embarrassing us. And that leads me to the part of this that really matters. Folks, patriots bled that day. I'm thinking about the horror 80 years ago. You got this Higgins boat and the gate drops and these German machine gun nests are just mowing people down. You're watching people killed in front of you, shot, limbs blown off as you're storming the beach to save the world from what was Nazi tyranny at the time. I mean, these guys were heroes. Some of these guys had faked their age to willingly walk into combat. And, you know, there's a lot of talk about what life and death would be like and what it's like staring death in the eye. Maybe you were robbed one time. You understand these guys were staring death in the eye. There was death right in front of them. If they made it, they surely knew someone shot or killed or had to traverse bodies to get to the beach. The unimaginable bravery that day. Unimaginable bravery. But I get the sinking feeling with this guy that this country's just a different place right now. And it's not because of you or anybody like you. It's not. It's because we've got 30 to 40% of this country who supports this continued tyranny and lawfare that doesn't believe in any of the ideals that were fought for that day. Ladies and gentlemen, that scares the hell out of me, man. You know, I don't remember a time like this. I don't remember a time like this growing up in the 80s. I was born in 1974. I'm not that old, but I'm not that young either. I don't remember a time where I went to school and we were taught to hate America. We were taught America was a place born out of sin and the stain of sin. I don't remember that. You're expecting these kids to go and fight for something they've been told is a stain on human society on this rock we call Earth? No, they're not going to do that. And I'm scared, and I know you are too. We got an opportunity to fix this, but in one election. I need you all to understand that one election is not going to save this. It's going to take a movement. Donald Trump has to represent something bigger than himself, a movement that's going to transform the culture and rip this shit out, root and branch, this garbage hate America culture and replace it with something different, or we're not going to have a country left. I said my piece. Folks, they always accuse you of what they're doing. This is what I'm talking about. We're living in a different country right now. There is one side that hates everything we stand for. Rules, order, culture, family, God. They hate it. They can't stand it. Love of country. It doesn't matter. And because they're terrified that their tyranny is not going to continue if Donald Trump wins, they're now doing this simple distraction technique that has appealed to useful idiots for a long time and been used by commies, socialists, Soviets. They've used it forever. It's what I call the dipsy-do flipperoo. They just blame you for exactly what they're doing. NBC News, this article was rocking around the internet yesterday. If Trump wins, he could weaponize U.S. spy services against his political enemies. Former intel officers warn. Are you freaking kidding me? Are these the same 51 intelligence officers who falsely bullshitted America? These scumbags, every single one of them. You hear me? Absolute scumbags. You don't like the word? Too bad. That's what you are. A bunch of scumbag fuckwads. Fuck you guys. Pardon my language. Don't pardon my language. Fuck you guys. 51 of you pieces of shit who told America before an election that this laptop that would have changed the entire course of American history, would have kept the border closed if Trump got reelected, probably wouldn't be a Russian invasion in Ukraine, probably wouldn't have been an October 7th attack either, we'd be living in a different world right now because you 51 intelligence scumbags had to lie to the entire planet and tell everyone, thank you, tell everyone that this laptop had hallmarks of Russian intelligence, knowing you were full of shit the whole time. And now you've got the balls to say that Trump could weaponize the spy services? Folks, if this doesn't rile you up, man, and get your blood pressure up 10 points, I don't know I can't help you. Why the message shift now? Why the message shift to this dipsy-do flipperoo? Why are they getting away from Bidenomics and all this other stuff and now focusing on Trump? Trump is going to engage in lawfare. He's going to spy on people because they want to do it again and they're afraid their operation is going to get called out. They're loving the deep state. The deep state is real. It's not some, silly euphemism for a conspiracy theory. The deep state are real players. It's members of the media. It's intelligence community members. Here's the key: active and retired. It's bureaucrats within the government. It is saboteurs inside the Trump administration last time. The deep state is real. They want it to continue. And they're terrified. They're terrified because their lawfare is blowing up in their face. And they need this Hunter Biden story now to go away right now because it points to the fact that the deep state is real, and the Hunter Biden case and the laptop coming out in court as an evidence, as a piece of documented evidence by the FBI is one of the most damning indictments of the deep state you're ever going to see. Look at this tweet by Brian Sullivan. You see now why they're flipping to this narrative? Trump, retribution, lawfare, new Quinnipiac poll. In the swing state of Georgia, Trump's guilty verdict makes more people, yes, you're reading that right, more people likely to vote for him than to not vote for him. Most don't care. Now, do you see why the messaging shift is happening? They're terrified. Their lawfare totally backfired. They made Trump more popular, not less. They don't know what to do. So now they do the flipperoo. Oh, you better be careful. Trump's going to weaponize the deep state, the one you weaponized against him. Folks, this has all gone mainstream now. You see 50 Cent up on Capitol Hill yesterday? You have Joe Rogan talking about this now. Joe Rogan on the system, how it's totally backfired. This entire lawfare operation. You see now how they got to try to desperately shift the message? Watch this cut. Check this out.
So many rappers are showing support for Trump now. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Because now he's got a felony.
Right.
Right. I mean, now they realize also he's getting trapped by the system, just like everybody's been rapping about. Being trapped by this system, this bullshit system. And you watch it happen with him.
Exactly. Yeah, I was just talking about this. It's like I don't think they were counting on the black voter being like, hey, they just fucked that guy. That's what they do to us.
Yeah, this is what they do to everybody, and they pretend they're there for you while they're letting in immigrants.
Brothers and sisters, you're not wasting your time here. Where am I going with this? Did I not tell you this over a year ago? Do you guys remember this? When I said to you, a good friend of mine, some of you probably figure out who it is, was at a UFC fight over a year and a half ago, and he called me and said, Dan, there's going to be a lot of the black vote for Donald Trump. This is before the trial even started, bro. He was right there. I said, how do you know this, buddy? He said, because I was sitting in a green room with a bunch of black entertainers and managers, and they all told me they were voting for Trump. This was a year and a half ago. It's all gone mainstream now. You see why this Hunter Biden case is killing him? They're trying to make the case to the American public right now that Donald Trump is a unique threat to democracy, as their threat to democracy is being exposed because of two things. Number one, their lawfare against Donald Trump and their case up in New York, which is backfired. And number two, Hunter Biden's case, where the laptop they told you was fake, the deep state and the lawfare people, is now been introduced by the FBI as a documented piece of evidence. All they can hope for now is nullification. And don't be surprised if Hunter Biden gets off. Do not be surprised. I'd argue to you it's the best thing that could happen. For the legal system, no, the legal system's dead already. We're going to have to rebuild it. It would show everyone that there is no legal system or justice system left. The Hunter Biden defense team yesterday had an unbelievably bad day. They tried to make the case when he bought the gun and answered on the form that he wasn't addicted to any substances, that he wasn't using crack. And then what happened? The prosecutors showed a text the next day after he bought the gun with him seeking crack from a dude named Mookie. Mookie. The best they can hope for right now is nullification, and they may get it. And now all of it's back in the news. They're trying to claim Trump's a threat to democracy as the Hunter Biden story's back in the news, where they didn't only threaten democracy, they stole it by hiding the laptop with these pieces of shit in the intelligence community who were part of the swamp, who stole the election because of it. This is amazing. Hunter Biden chose to lie about drug use to buy a gun, feds say. The feds claims he was pushed into the sale. Pushed. I want you to watch this. Just a little reminder. Joe Biden knew this laptop was real the entire time. So did his family. Do I have the receipt? Oh, look, I do. I've got a lot of goodies in here. What do we got in here? Yeah. Oh, look, this is the stuff I've always used in the past. Check this out. Here's some gems. Look. Here's Joe Biden. What's he doing there? Anybody know? You know what that is, guys? There's Joe Biden. This is some little gizmos. That's him eulogizing KKK, I don't know, Grand Titan or whatever, Robert Byrd. Here's Joe Biden. Here's a picture of Joe Biden at business meetings with his kid. Oh, look, here's the receipt. Holy shit. Look at that, a receipt signed by, oh my gosh, Hunter Biden. That's so crazy. Bill to Hunter Biden with Hunter Biden's number and address on it. That's so nuts. Ukrainian efforts to sabotage Trump backfire. These are all gizmos I use all the time. Here's a little reminder. He knew the entire time. You want to see what the deep state is? Here's one big piece of it, and we're going to expose them chunk by chunk by chunk. Here's the biggest part of the deep state. One Joseph R. Biden, who lied to your face repeatedly about this laptop they all knew was real. Check this out.
50 former national intelligence folks who said that what he's accusing me of is a Russian plant. They have said that this has all the 5 former heads of the CIA, both parties, say what he's saying is a bunch of garbage.
This is classic Trump. We have 4 days left, and all of a sudden there's a laptop. There's overwhelming evidence that from the intelligence community that the Russians are engaged.
I still think that the stories from the fall about your son Hunter were Russian disinformation and a smear campaign, like you said.
Yes. I know you'd ask it. I have no response. It's another smear campaign. It's a last-ditch effort in this desperate campaign to smear me and my family. The vast majority of the intelligence people have come out and said there's no basis at all.
Listen, get ready, because this will probably make news with the dipshits on the left. So start taking notes, lefties. Get your pens and your notebooks out if you're capable of writing. They probably can't even write in script. I'm demanding an investigation if Trump wins into all of these people for a conspiracy to interfere in an election and potentially worse. And Joe Biden's going to be the first target of that investigation. Demanding it. I'll accept no less. You will never, ever teach these people that deep state lawfare is wrong without exposing them to the same sets of rules they want to impose on us. Someone did steal an election, and Joe Biden was a field general in that war on election integrity. Listen to me. Folks in the chat, Bocino, get on it. Yes, you want investigation, or no, you don't? I want an investigation into this conspiracy to steal the 2020 election. And no, we shouldn't let it go. I don't want to hear shit about, oh, it's time to move on. It's not time to move on, or they'll do it again. They stole this damn thing. They hid that laptop information. You know it. We know it. You're damn right. And I want everyone I'm about to talk about who's involved with this deep state conspiracy to steal that election in 2020, everyone. I've got a list of people coming up. I want everyone as either, they better give depositions, and if they committed criminal activity, I want them charged too. Everyone. Stay tuned. I got more players in this. The deep state is real. Let me take a quick break here. Our first sponsor today is Dream. Again, Beam Dreams Powder. You know we love Beam. Are you having trouble staying asleep or getting asleep? I had real problems with sleeping. It's not just about feeling tired the next day. It's the toll poor sleep can take on every aspect of your life. But guess what? There's hope on the horizon. Happened to me. Love this product. It comes in the form of Beam's Dream Powder. It's been a game changer for me. See, when we're sleeping well, we can be sharper, more focused, and ready to tackle whatever life throws our way. And today, my listeners get a special discount on Beam's Dream Powder. One of my favorite products. It's their science-backed hot cocoa for sleep with no added sugar. Better sleep has never tasted better. Just give it a shot. Let us know what you think. Other sleep aids can cause the next day grogginess, but Dream contains an all-powerful, all-natural blend of reishi, magnesium, L-theanine, apigenin, and melatonin to help you fall asleep, stay asleep, and wake up refreshed. If you want to try Beam's best-selling Dream Powder, Beam is now offering Dan Bongino Show listeners an exclusive discount. Get up to 45% off. It's a big savings. Give it a shot. For a limited time, when you go to shopbeam.com/Bongino and use code Bongino at checkout, that's shopbeam.com/Bongino. Use code Bongino for up to 45% off. Thanks, Beam. Get a good night's sleep. We appreciate it. Here's another person I want investigated, and I want deposed again. Remember Yoel Roth used to work over at Twitter? Yoel Roth, I'm pretty sure he doesn't work there anymore, ex-Twitter. Before he was there pre-Elon with the Jack days over at Twitter. Folks, he gave a deposition to the Federal Elections Commission. And he noted that since 2018, he's had regular meetings with the Office of the Director of National Intelligence, Homeland Security, the FBI, and industry peers regarding election security. He also noted that he was given a heads up before the laptop story broke. Others noted this as well, that there was going to be some Russian disinformation dropping. Folks, they knew the laptop was real. It was introduced as an element of their evidence portfolio in the Hunter Biden trial, and they admitted it was not tampered with. What am I telling you? These people knew the entire time. Does Yoel Roth have any criminal or civil liability? Likely not. But does Yoel Roth know something? He put that back up on the screen a second. He already said on the record that he had regular meetings with the FBI. What did they tell him? I want to hear it again. Did they tell him, hey, look, here we go. Thank you. During these weekly meetings, he notes that these federal law enforcement agencies communicated they expected a hack and leak operation that might occur before the 2020 election. Folks, do you see what they did here? These FBI folks and these intelligence folks went to social media companies because they knew the laptop that was genuine. The judges ruled because they knew the genuine laptop would tip the election to Trump. And these deep state actors in the FBI went to social media companies and set them up to pre-bunk a story that was real. Oh, look, he also learned in these meetings that there were rumors that a hack and leak operation would involve Hunter Biden. What are the chances of that, folks? I want Yoel Roth interviewed again. Demand an investigation into these people. Accept no second place. There's no silver medal here. I want him deposed too. Who exactly were those people he talked to? Who told him there were rumors of a hack and leak operation? Does it correlate with the release of the laptop story? I'll bet it does. I want these people interviewed too. Here's one of them. The media should be part of this investigation. All of the media people. It goes on for days. You want to see a 20-minute clip of media people telling you the laptop's Russian? Go to Kanakoa on Twitter, Kanakoa the Great. He's got a 20-minute clip that's gone nuclear of media people telling you this thing is fake when it was real. I want this person interviewed. Remember, sir, from 60 Minutes, Leslie Stahl. Here's a part of the interview you didn't see. Here's Leslie Stahl in one of these kind of hot mic moments here with Donald Trump going back and forth. She's a media person. All they had to do was get the FBI on the record that the laptop wasn't Russian. That's all they had to do. They developed sources. You do what's called journalism. They didn't want to know. Here's Leslie Stahl getting into an argument with Donald Trump, this dipwad claiming they have no way to verify this laptop. Therefore, it must be some kind of like Russian type thing. Check this out.
So this story about Hunter and his laptop. Some repair shop found it. The source is Steve Bannon and Rudy Giuliani.
I don't know anything about that. I just know it's a laptop, and they haven't.
And you're making this one of the hottest, most important issues in your rallies.
It's a very important issue to find out whether or not a man's corrupt who's running for president, who's accepted money from China and from Ukraine and from Russia.
All these
I think
things
that's
have
an
been
important issue.
investigated and
It's incredible the way you can try and say this and sit there and look me in the eye and say it. He accepted money, his family, from Russia, from Ukraine, from China, and from other places. His brother, who didn't have experience, became a big builder in Iraq without experience. Take a look at what's going on, Leslie. And then you say that shouldn't be discussed.
I'm saying
it's the biggest scandal out there, Leslie, and you don't cover it.
Because it can't be verified.
You want to talk about insignificant things.
I'm telling you.
Of course it can be verified. Excuse me, they found the laptop. Leslie.
It can't be verified.
What can't be verified?
The laptop.
Why do you say?
Whose video was that? Steve Loves Ammo. I thought Vigilant Fox. There's a bunch of great accounts out there. I got to credit everyone. It's the right thing to do. That's what happened after the Sir moment. Do you hear what she says? She falsely, maliciously, because she's a garbage person, says, oh, the provenance of this was Giuliani and Steve Bannon. It was not. Leslie, you moron. The provenance of it was Hunter Biden. He actually signed for it. This is a copy of the receipt. Are you? How's it? You're not this stupid. However, you are this evil and malicious. She should be interviewed too. Someone talked to her. Who told her that this thing was fake? Because she seems damn sure that this thing is some kind of fake Russian plan. Who told her that? Depose her too. Get her on the record. Everyone should be brought in. Hey, can you play Goldman next? Here's another one I want interviewed too. Congressman and full-time sleazeball, Dan Goldman, the second dumbest member of Congress after AOC, but the dumbest male. Here he is in a hearing about 6 months ago, challenging journalist Michael Schellenberger on the laptop, claiming again that the laptop that was handed over by Hunter and is now introduced in evidence in a court of law as a legitimate laptop from Hunter Biden somehow was Giuliani's laptop or something? Listen to this piece of garbage. Check this out.
You have no idea. You know hard drives can be manipulated.
Are you suggesting the New York Post participating in a conspiracy to construct the contents of the Hunter Biden laptop?
No, sir. The problem is that hard drives can be manipulated by Rudy Giuliani or Russia.
Well, what's the evidence that happened?
Well, there is actual evidence of it, but the point is it's not the same thing.
There's no evidence for it, so you're engaging in a conspiracy.
I'm glad.
No, dipshit. There is no evidence it was manipulated. How do we know that? The FBI, that can't even stand Donald Trump, at least their leadership, was forced to acknowledge in the Hunter Biden court case that it was not manipulated. This piece of garbage just made it up. I want him investigated too. Who told him that? I want to know who told him that. Investigations, folks. No second place. Of course, Donald Trump was ahead of this the entire time. Remember when the media got all upset when he called it like it was? When he asked the media about this Hunter Biden laptop and they were still hiding it? I want all of these people investigated. You will never dismantle the deep state until these people are put under oath and forced to answer for what they did, stealing an election. Here is Trump at the time, calling Biden exactly what he is, a criminal. Check this out.
Campaign strategy seems to be to call Biden a criminal. Why is that?
He is a criminal. He's a criminal. He got caught. Read his laptop. And you know who's a criminal? You're a criminal for not reporting it. You are a criminal for not reporting it. Let me tell you something. Joe Biden is a criminal, and he's been a criminal for a long time, and you're a criminal in the media for not reporting it. Good luck, everybody. Have a good time.
I got 2 more people I want investigated as part of this deep state, too. And I've got the video to back it up coming up right now. John Brennan and Andy McCabe. They're all afraid, folks, and they're all afraid for the right reasons because they know there is a reckoning coming, and it's a legal one. They know it. By the way, I had Dr. Peter McCullough on yesterday. I got a lot of questions about it. A lot of folks. Dr. McCullough was on about the vaccine, problems with the vaccine, heart issues, and some of the things he recommends people can do. I promise I'll get to that. And Dr. Deborah Birx yesterday admits in that there was a conspiracy to suppress the lab leak thing, just like we said. Big show, a lot left. Helix Sleep, can't get over how much better I'm sleeping. I have a Helix mattress, have for a long time. Feeling even better now. Got a new one. The Helix lineup offers 20 unique mattresses, including their award-winning Luxe and Ultra Premium Elite collections. The Helix Plus is a mattress designed for big and tall sleepers, and the Helix Kids mattress is designed for growing bodies. Take the Helix Sleep Quiz. Find your perfect mattress in under 2 minutes, and your personalized mattress is shipped straight to your door free of charge. Helix offers a 100-night trial and a 10 to 15-year warranty to try out your new Helix mattress. Every Helix mattress is a hybrid design, combining individually wrapped steel coils in the base with premium foam layers on top. It's a perfect combination of comfort and support. Even better, setup is fast and super easy. Helix is offering 20% off all mattress orders and 2 free pillows for our listeners. The website, HELIX, helixsleep.com/Dan. That's helixsleep.com/Dan. It's our best offer yet, and it won't last long with Helix. Better sleep starts now. And our last sponsor today, Blackout Coffee. Ladies and gentlemen, I just saw some study out there about drinking 3 cups of coffee a day and its effects on your health are very positive. So I drink coffee. I enjoy coffee, but I don't like coffee. It tastes like brown water. I don't like bitter coffee either. I do like bold coffee, though. It's got to taste like coffee. You want to try the best coffee out there? Hands down, Blackout Coffee. Love Blackout Coffee. The cinnamon French toast flavor is amazing. It tastes unbelievably good on Saturday mornings. There's something about Saturday and coffee. Blueberry crumble is fantastic. The espresso is strong like I like it. Bold, never bitter. They use premium coffee beans. Premium coffee beans. That's why I'm proud to personally recommend them. The owner of the company loves the country. We got to build this parallel economy. Support companies that love the country, love us, and love a good product too. The folks at Blackout Coffee ship within 48 hours of roasting. Do me a favor. Check them out. That's all I'm asking. blackoutcoffee.com/Bongino. See what I've been talking about? They're the real deal. blackoutcoffee.com/Bongino or use coupon code Bongino for 20% off your first order. Again, blackoutcoffee.com/Bongino. Pick some up today. Send me your feedback. You're going to love it. Do you think so? Because it's true. He said, I was like, thank you, Geeky. He never said, you've never said that ever in 2-3 years, however long you've been here. You have? When? When did you say that before? You've never said that. Be careful. Kraken's going to get mad. He's like the union rep or something. Kraken, I'm sorry. Kraken. Hey, Anita, can you make Kraken the union rep for my crew? Guys, if you have a complaint, Anita, get Kraken's email. Guys, if you have a complaint you want to make anonymously, Avita, Michael, you too, send it to Kraken. I won't know who it is. I can narrow it down to 1 of 4, but it's okay. Just Kraken, you are now the union rep on the show. So he's the HR guy. You're our unofficial HR rep, all right? Kraken, we love you, brother. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you defending my crew. I love them to death. All right, I want these 2 investigated too. Why do you think these people are scared? They're scared because they know there's a reckoning coming. Here's the difference. Trump didn't break the law and they made it up and subjected him to lawfare. These people actually, I believe, violated criminal and civil statutes and were engaged in a massive conspiracy to steal the 2020 election. Here's the first clown and this joker. Here's John Brennan. John Brennan does not want Trump to get the classified briefings once he becomes the official nominee. Why? Because he's afraid once he has access to the intelligence that door is going to open. And not just the stuff from 2016, but stuff that's been going on since then as well. Listen to this guy. He is so terrified that they may be coming for him. Check this out.
Director Brennan, I start with you because the last time you were here, I think we talked about whether or not Trump should receive intelligence briefings once he is officially the nominee of the Republican Party. He's now a convicted felon. Do you still think he should?
No, I do not, Nicole. And I said previously that I thought that the Biden administration could give him essentially an unclassified intelligence briefing without any reference to source of methods.
These guys are terrified, folks, because they didn't stop what they were doing in 2016. I need you to understand it's been going on for 7-8 years now. This is still going on, this plot to take out Trump. Here's one more. Here's Andy McCabe on CNN. Remember, he was the deputy director of the FBI who oversaw with Jim Comey this entire FBI operation to spy on Donald Trump, hide the laptop, all of the stuff they did. These are actual players in this deep state. It is real. Here's Andy McCabe, again, playing the victim. The victim. Oh my gosh, a bunch of these deep staters are so worried Donald Trump's going to get office. They're thinking about leaving and going overseas. You should be worried. You should be worried because I'm going to recommend they look into every single one of you who was involved in this. If your fingerprints touched it, you should be worried. Listen to this.
What do people inside the FBI think when they hear a comment like that?
You know, it's terrifying. It's frightening. I have a lot of conversations with former colleagues, people who are or were in the intelligence and law enforcement community and may have worked in, the Obama administration, other places. And, people are really trying to assess, what is life going to be like if Donald Trump wins a second term? And on a very personal level, I mean, these are torturous discussions with their family members about whether or not they have to leave the country to avoid being unconstitutionally and illegally detained.
Were you supposed to shed a tear? No, there's no mercy here, folks. There's no mercy. I believe these people were engaged in a potentially illegal conspiracy to interfere and steal an election. A legitimate conspiracy. And let me tell you something. Andy McCabe is one of the top 5 people who needs to be deposed immediately in a real, sincere investigation with assets and people ready to do what needs to be done. All right, moving on. So a lot of you are concerned. Obviously, the deep state doesn't just apply to lawfare against Donald Trump. We saw it with Dr. Fauci the other day, and the same bureaucrats, the NIH, the NAID, all of these organizations that were involved with Wuhan, EcoHealth Alliance, the public health deep state effed you over hard during COVID. And some of the truth tellers out there, their reputations were tarnished. They were dragged through the mud. And one of them was Dr. Peter McCullough. He was on my radio show yesterday. We'll put it on the weekend podcast on Sunday and get it on Rumble, Apple, and Spotify if you missed the interview. But he was talking about it. I asked him at some point, listen, if you feel like you've been damaged by this vax and you have some evidence or you feel like medically you're in trouble from this thing, clotting or whatever it may be, is there anything you can do? Now, I'm not a doctor. He is a doctor. I don't give medical advice. You need to talk to your doctor first because I don't know what your specific medical issue is, especially if you're on blood thinners or that type of stuff. But I got a ton of questions because he recommended this combination of 3 compounds that may help a clotting situation if you've been damaged by the vaccine. Again, talk to your doctor first. Can't say that enough. I don't know your unique medical condition. One of them, however, this is a nattokinase. I keep this on my desk. You may see me taking it during the show. And I'm going to spell it out for you. It's nattokinase. It's a product that may thin the blood and assist in breaking up some of these clots. He also recommended curcumin. It is basically a spice. It is a deep yellow spice. It's spelled curcumin. And he also recommended bromelain. Typically comes with quercetin in a compound. It's bromelain. That was his trifecta: curcumin, bromelain, and nattokinase. If you want to listen to the show, you can listen to it on the weekend. But yeah, you can see there's products out there. I think it's I think bromelain is a compound. Pineapple has bromelain in it, but this is you can see there's a number of different products. These are not sponsors in any way, shape, or form. These are just things I'm putting out there. There's natto. That the doc, he's a doctor, I'm not, and I feel like I owe it to you to give you options if you want to take them. And again, talk to your doctor too, because if you're on some type of blood thinner, some of these things could cause some issues for you. Now, Dr. Birx showing you again, this deep state is real. These are people I want interviewed. And let me tell you something. I'm not sure if I've said it before. Let me say it now. When COVID first started, and I mean first started, it was in Washington. I think Washington was the first state, and it was starting to expand. I was invited up to a meeting with Vice President Pence and Deborah Birx. There were a couple other talk show folks there and writers, And Dr. Birx, I will never forget in that meeting, I think it was me or maybe another radio host, who I'm not going to name his name, that's his job to do that, asked Dr. Birx directly, did this thing come from China? And she was categorical that it didn't, which seems kind of strange because there was no way she could have known that back then. Here's Dr. Birx yesterday on cable news basically admitting that, yes, there was a deep state conspiracy to squash the lab leak theory, despite the fact that to this day, they have absolutely no evidence it had a natural origin at all. Tell me again the deep state isn't real. They admit to it all the time. Check this out.
Do you think there is any veracity to some of the Republican accusations that there was an effort to discredit the lab leak theory?
I think early on, people did take very definitive sides. And it did divide along party lines. And we're still suffering from that 4 years later in a whole set of issues related to pandemic and pandemic preparedness.
Sure, but on the lab leak specifically, you think that happened?
I do think it happened.
She's admitting it. I love when your lefty clown friends, if you have any left, I certainly don't. Oh, the deep state, that's a conspiracy theory. You guys are just concerned about this unnecessary, wasting a bunch of your energy on something that doesn't exist. She's admitting to it. She's admitting that state actors basically operated to squash a theory they had no idea was true or not at the time. I was in the meeting. She was categorical that this thing came from China. I was there. Don't tell me it didn't happen. It was in the old the EOB, Eisenhower Executive Office Building. And if you were one of the other hosts there and writers, you know exactly what I'm talking about. She did not say that, oh, yeah, maybe this thing, we don't know yet. Maybe we should withhold judgment. That's not science. They were engaged in a political war against Donald Trump because he had condemned China for being the lead suspect in the leak of this deadly virus. And they couldn't give him a political win. So they said, oh, that's a conspiracy theory. It came from an animal. This is why I want you to be really cautious and don't fall into the two-door trap I told you about with this bird flu thing. Have you seen some of these stories coming out? Bird flu, the bird flu's out there and infected a human being. There's a two-door trap here, and don't fall in either one. Listen to me, my brothers and sisters. I'm not going to steer you wrong. Facts will save the day. Follow the facts, disregard the opinions from stupid people, and you know exactly who they are. I just played you most of them. If this bird flu thing turns out to be serious and a bunch of people die from it because facts tell you that, then yes, maybe we should be concerned. However, the early hysteria around bird flu, right as an election's coming around, makes me a little bit suspicious. I'm asking you not to fall into one of the two traps, though. Don't totally disregard the story. Bird flu is real. It's a real thing. So don't disregard it. But second, don't fall in the other trap either, where it's clear that they manipulated the COVID response last time to steal an election. And all of a sudden, right before an election, oh, look, bird flu. Just let the facts guide you. And I promise you'll never be a sucker for these morons. Facts. And you know where to get them. You can trust us. Just go back and watch. I'm begging you as a favor, because my street cred matters to me more than anything with you. I'm begging you, imploring you to go back and listen to those February 2020 shows when COVID was breaking. And I want you to see personally. Don't believe what anyone tells you about what I said. Watch personally how I begged everyone to calm down until we know something about this damn thing. Please go back and listen. The only people panicking were the nuts in the media, and it was fake panic because they wanted to make sure Donald Trump lost. Folks, you can't trust the government on anything, ever. The deep state exists because of the old Mansur Olson issue. Mansur Olson highlighted this a long time ago, not to get too deep in the weeds, but the government always appeals to concentrated interests and they diffuse the costs. In other words, I'll say it's Occam's razor, simple. The loudest voices in the room that can influence an election, money, activists, door knocking, and social media, they get all the attention. They get all the money. They get all the grants from the government. And the cost of it is diffused amongst the entire population in your tax bill. So the concentrated interest, this is why they always win. This is how the connected few dominate this constitutional republic and leave the everyday man behind. It explains completely why the Democrats morphed from pretending to care about illegal immigration in the Clinton-Obama era. I'm not saying they cared. They pretended to care. I'm going to show you the facts here. Hat tip Maze Morgan, great account on Twitter, in a minute. They pretended to care because the concentrated interests weren't making as much money off illegal immigration as they are now. These NGOs are making a fortune. Avita's mom did a whole thing on it, Rachel Duffy. Rachel Duffy did a whole thing on it. Going down there and looking at the border, hoteliers and their NGOs these people are making a fortune. They are concentrated interests and the costs go to you. Here's a Maze Moore video, a great one. Here's the evolution of the Democrats as the money, as the follow the money trail got thicker and deeper on the immigration issue. Here's Obama first. You're going to hear him talking about, hey, I can't do anything. I need Congress. I can't make the law. I just enforce it. And then Joe Biden saying the exact opposite. It's the same party, folks. The only thing that changed is the deep state and the NGOs were making a whole lot more cheese off it. Check this out.
With respect to the notion that I can just suspend deportations through executive order, that's just not the case because there are laws on the books that Congress has passed. And I know that everybody here at Bell is studying hard, so you know that we've got 3 branches of government. Congress passes the law. The executive branch's job is to enforce and implement those laws. And then the judiciary has to interpret the laws. There are enough laws on the books by Congress that are very clear in terms of how we have to enforce our immigration system, that for me to simply, through executive order, ignore those congressional mandates would not conform with my appropriate role as president.
In the first 100 days of my administration, no one will be deported at all. From that point on, the only deportations that will take place are commissions of felonies in the United States of America.
So to be clear, only felons get deported and everyone else gets to stay?
Yes.
Folks, what changed? It's only been a little over a decade. It's only been 10 years since Obama gave that passionate spiel about how he's got to obey the law and the constitutional process. What changed? I'm asking you as friends not to overthink this. The money changed. Democrats have always been hardcore collectivists and socialists, but when there was no money in it for them, they weren't willing to fight as hard for open borders. Now that they know that a bunch of NGOs can make a fortune getting government grants to house these people, fly them around the country while taking a cut themselves and putting it in their pockets, they're making millions off this. All of a sudden, their entire ideology shifts. Don't overthink this, man. The same thing for the green lobby. How did we go from a country bedrocked in petrochemicals, which is going to be the future until we can develop a viable alternative? How did we go from that to the Inflation Production Act and all of this bullshit green policy where we're flushing money down the toilet? The answer is exactly what I just told you. Down at the end of the toilet are a bunch of liberals collecting all the money that gets flushed. This is how bad it is, right? Did you see this clip yesterday up on Capitol Hill? I want to do it. This is a Democrat. This is Democrat Senator Merkley. He's questioning this Biden administration guy. Again, this is a Democrat. He's saying, hey, man, you guys got these Green New Deal plans for all these electric chargers around the country. We need about, 500,000 of them to electrify the fleet, which is never going to happen, by the way. How many have you built? I heard it was 7. This is a Democrat. How do I know things are getting bad enough? The government can't do shit. You give them billions of dollars. They can't even build a freaking charger for your car. Check this out.
I don't think you answered the question.
Nope.
I'll happy to. Yeah. The question was, the infrastructure bill funded 500,000, as you put it, charging ports. How many of those charging ports have been deployed?
So of the bipartisan infrastructure law funds? Yes. So 6 states have deployed NEVI funds. I'll say it's dozens of ports, so under 100, like of those 6 NEVI sites that are out there, it is dozens of charging ports. I can get you the specific number.
Okay, yeah, if you could, because I've heard it only 7. 7 out of 500,000.
7 sites, and then, yes.
That is pathetic.
Good job, government. 7 freaking charging ports. They need 500,000. They can't do anything right. Did you see what happened with the January 6th committee? Another explosive revelation. In case, and I know it's a stupid question here with you all in the chat. You know what? Hey, Bocino, get on this for me. Anyone think Liz Cheney and Adam Kinzinger were legit? The whole January 6th committee, that they were on there because it was about principles. Does anybody think that? Yes, I think that. Or no, they were totally full of shit. Does anybody, by the way, if there's a single person who believes these two were legit, I'm sorry. Again, you may be watching the wrong show. You may thought this was the Don Bon Jovi show, not the Dan Bongino show. In case you thought any of this was about getting to the bottom of January 6th and these principled Republicans. I love you guys and ladies out there. Shout out to the ladies too. This has nothing to do with principles, this January 6th committee. Did you see this story? Another conspiracy theory dies an awful death. If you were listening to the show, again, you were how many months ahead? At least 6 months ahead. Remember the story? Donald Trump. So Donald Trump supposedly in the back seat, right? He's riding in the back seat on the day of January 6th, and he says he wants to go up to the Capitol. And apparently the Secret Service says, sir, that's not a good idea. So Donald Trump, here, he jumps out of the seat. He does, you ever see like, you guys do jujitsu or judo or sambo at all? You know what the rear naked choke hooks in? The hooks, that's when you get your leg hooks in. So he gets his hooks in. You don't want to cross your legs, by the way, you're doing jujitsu. So you get the hooks in, put them around the hips so you can control the guy's hips. He slides around the neck to the Secret Service guy. If his little demo, you got the side shot. So you got to use those. You got to use the legs really good for this. And Donald Trump chokes this guy out. He chokes him out. And the Secret Service guy's like, oh, okay, he's trying to tap. He's like, someone come in, John McCarthy, slide in the mat, say, it's over. But he chokes him out. He's got the hooks in. He's working the guy's hips. The guy's like, what happens? Bobby Engel, who's the second, we've never done the bell at the end of the show. Ever done the bell. So the bell rings. It's over. Bobby Engel, the Secret Service supervisor, sitting. He's not the driver, but he's in the right front seat. Bobby Engel supposedly comes in. He breaks it up. And the car, Bobby magically saves the car. And they steer it in. And Donald Trump's sitting there like, I got this one. I got him. He chokes him out. He's like, you got to seal that thing in, folks. And you want to you get that in. And you cinch your shoulders and stuff. And we were like, so, of course, Guy, were you here when this story went down? I mean, you weren't. Me and Guy both, Guy's like a CrossFit cat and all. We were like, this is the dumbest fucking story I've ever heard in my life. Donald Trump choked out a Secret Service driver? Go back and watch that show when we laughed at this story. He's right. That was when I first told Guy about the beast. Folks, you call it the beast here, I got to ban you from the chat immediately. I'm sorry, you get a 10-day suspension. Nobody calls it the beast. Nobody. If you're calling the presidential limo the beast, you're not welcome here. Nobody calls it that. And trust me, we laugh at idiots who call it that. That's a media thing, so they look like they're down. Just a news story. Trump's Secret Service driver that day, the one who got choked out like that, allegedly, wanted to quickly refute Cassidy Hutchinson, who told this ridiculous story, the tale, but was rebuffed. Apparently, members of the January 6th committee, crying Adam Kinzinger, Liz Cheney, Benny Thompson, and others, they didn't want you to hear the real story. What was the real story? The real story is, this is all bullshit. Why didn't the Secret Service come out and say something at the time? I don't know. But maybe it's another reason you see this. Here's this guy, Chris Barfield. I don't know who he is, but this was on a LinkedIn. This is the approval rating and ranking of federal agencies. People who like working there, where they rank. You want to be number one. People love working there. This is great. You don't want to be at the top. I think the worst you can get is like 450 or something. Here was the Secret Service in 2020. They were ranked 347. Must be a really shitty place to work. Then 377 in 2021. 375, up 2 spots in 2022. Up 2023, 413. 413. Yeah, they've all gone down. Of course, who wants to work for these woke federal agencies anymore? The director for the Secret Service needs to resign immediately. They should have refuted this story on day one. Have some dignity. It's disgusting. Hey, we're going to talk about this tomorrow at length, but I'd be remiss if I didn't address this, especially this one's rocketing around the internet. Evita and I understand, right? Evita, this is like one of those clicky stories, click the VP thing, you know, because we've been in this media business a long time. But people like it. So you ask, I deliver. Everybody loves the VP drama. Politico Playbook and NBC and others are pointing out that the paperwork for the VP has been sent to 6, I guess, finalists. I don't know. I don't know. Donald Trump, like I said, rarely talks about this with me personally. But the what is this? Return to the job. You guys messing with me now? See, cracking. I cracked the whip so bad. These guys, because they know this Star Wars thing, they hijacked the show right in front of my face. The chat did it. Well, you guys kind of shows for you. So this is cracking. This is how scared they are of me. It's how scared everybody is of getting fired. They just take the whole show over. I tell them put up the VP element. We'll put up Star Wars. It's okay. We'll do what we want. Here were the finalists. Listen, my humble opinion here. I'm just going to give you. You're welcome to have your own. Don't jump down my throat. I have an opinion like anyone else. Finalists are supposedly Doug Bergram, J.D. Vance, Marco Rubio, Tim Scott, Tom Cotton, Elise Stefanik, Byron Donalds, and Ben Carson. I like J.D. Vance. I endorsed J.D. Vance, one of the few candidates in the last race. J.D. Vance, one of the few guys I think can go on TV and articulate conservatism. He's put a new angle and a fresh angle on it. I like J.D. It's not a knock on anyone else, but my opinion, J.D. Vance, you guys in the chat, knock yourselves out. Put your opinions. We'd love to see them. But again, this is from NBC and Politico, so take it all with a grain of salt. But as Evita and I know well, this really, the palace intrigue of who's going to be the VP fascinates people. You can't talk about this stuff enough. I think what I'll do tomorrow is I'll do some pros and cons of each one, and I'll do it objectively. Pros and cons for conservatives. It's a fair thing to do. So don't miss that show. What? Who? Vivek. A lot of people are saying that too. I saw that online. People were kind of upset. I think Vivek personally is going to be DHS secretary. I'm just saying. If it happens, you heard it here first. That's what I think. Folks, thanks so much for tuning in. If you want to watch the radio show in just a few minutes, go to rumble.com/Bongino. Click on, it says radio show live right there. Also join us here tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern time. We will be back for our Friday show, rumble.com/Bongino. Download the Rumble app and please give us a follow, please, on Apple and Spotify. See you tomorrow.
You just heard The Dan Bongino Show.